Hello, and thank you for the introduction. As mentioned, my name is Chris Sidor, and I work for CASC Engineering and Consulting as a civil engineer and drone pilot. Now that we have that out of the way, I'm here today, virtually of course, to proudly present the Brasada States project for the 2020 CASQA Outstanding Stormwater BMP Implementation Project or Program Award. The vision of this project was to construct 65 beautiful homes located in the San Gabriel mountain range. The developer wanted to reflect that old world European type of style in each one of these homes and provide homeowners with panoramic views of the Pacific Ocean, the lights of LA, and surround them with the open countryside. Trust me, if I could afford to live there, I would. So I really wanted to focus on the grading and street and utility phase of this project, where approximately 3 million cubic yards of soil were moved. The project is 277 acres, and you might be wondering, 65 homes, 277 acres? Well, that's because there's 25,000 square foot building pads on average. The grading operations commenced April 1st, 2017, and as mentioned, the project is located in the foothills of the San Gabriel Mountains, just on the border of San Dimas and Glendora's right on the other side. From the beginning, this project adopted challenges that required a strong approach to be successful. This project's approach consisted of teamwork, ingenuity, technology, communication, and commitment to the project. Through this approach, the stormwater team was able to overcome every challenge and constraint and construct a highly successful project. So let's take a look at these constraints. The first site constraint was the environmentally sensitive areas. At the beginning of the project, the team decided to dedicate over 170 acres to the Land Conservancy to remain as open space and habitat conservation. Like I said before, the project site was home to a lot of natural vegetation, woodlands, sycamore trees. There was a ton of cactus up there, and the team really wanted to preserve that. So in order to do that, they set up an environmentally sensitive area, ESA, as they called it, fence and signage around the entirety of the project, which restricted entry and disturbance throughout the duration of construction. As you can see in some of these videos, the orange ESA fence surrounded the entirety of the project. And not only that, but it cut through certain areas of the project and really proved to be a challenge. Well, I guess not for these guys, but they did a great job of preserving that existing vegetation. So the next site constraint was the soil type. The site was underlain by hydrologic soil group C and hydrologic soil group D. And I'm sure, as many of you know, both these soil types provide little to no infiltration. So these low infiltration rates would always be causing erosion and sediment runoff issues repeatedly for the downstream residential community. And as you can see from some of these videos, there really was little to no infiltration throughout this site. So our next site constraint was the site access. With the extreme terrain and 7 to 28% slopes throughout the entirety of the site, I'm sure you can imagine, combined with our last site constraint, the hydrologic soil groups with little infiltration, it was very difficult to get around this site after a storm event. So in order to fix that, the team used RTVs or rough terrain vehicles to get around the site. And I actually put in the bottom left, you can kind of see a ground level view of some of these roads throughout the site versus the aerial imagery. So the team kind of adapted towards the technology, and they actually used the real-time aerial imagery from the drone to make updates to their SWIP map and update the team on current site conditions when the site was inaccessible, especially after the rain events. Our last site constraint was hazardous flooding. And on the right-hand side of your screen, you can see rainfall totals per a local rain gauge, with the peak grading years highlighted in red. For the 2018-2019 season alone, rainfall totaled almost 27 inches, with one storm totaling almost 6 inches alone. Prior to construction, downstream residents reported almost 3 to 4 inches of mud and rock washing down the street and creating gullies 2 to 3 feet deep across residential properties. In one instance, a log uprooted, traveled downstream, and lodged itself in a nearby storm drain, flooding the street. The team had this knowledge, but little did they know they would be receiving 27 inches in one wet season. So, with those site constraints in mind, how do you complete a project of this magnitude? Well, you have to assemble the right team. So the project stormwater team consisted of David Cook from Brasada Estates and Mark Williams from Heartland Grading. And first of all, I cannot give these guys enough credit. They did an amazing job making this project happen, staying committed, making changes to the project, all around great ideas and great people to work with. And of course, you have CASC Engineering and Consulting, who obviously they did a great job on this project as well. The construction approach was to build the project in 4 separate phases, as you can see on the following map. The team also understood that this would be a dynamic project where the SWIP had to constantly be updated. Not only that, but the team understood that they would have to stay committed and put in the work. That's why they had people on call 24/7, around the clock work. They had heavy equipments such as D10s, D8s, not only moving the dirt, but also making repairs to the BMPs. Let's say a sediment trap went out, they used that equipment because the project was such a large scale. Also, they had pumps in each one of the basins throughout the project, and that consisted of pumps up to 6 inches in size. I would now like to mention the Ingenuity portion of this project. This has to deal with the construction BMP implementation process of installation, evaluation, and redesign if necessary. On your screen now, you see one of the iconic flood control basins of the Brasada project. This was one of the first BMPs constructed, and it was constructed early on and served as a sediment control basin during the construction process of this project. Now, this is one of my favorite BMPs on the site, and it's actually a ton of micro detention basins. And this was one of David Cook's great ideas on this project, and he actually utilized the building pads to actually contain runoff. And as you can see from not only this photo, but from some of the earlier videos, this BMP did a great job of containing the runoff on the pads and served as one of my favorite BMPs on this project. Next, we have the sediment traps, which were constantly changing on this project and constantly being updated on the SWIP map to reflect where the runoff would occur and reflect where erosion might take place. And lastly, we have the ESA fence. And as you saw from the earlier videos, this surrounded the entirety of the project, and the team did a great job of not disturbing these environmentally sensitive areas. The team didn't only have these 4 BMPs. Of course, they had their street sweeping, they had their fiber rolls, they had hydro mulch, and all your typical BMPs that you see on construction sites. But these are the ones that I really wanted to highlight because you don't see this every day on your construction site. Okay, so now we're getting on to one of my personal favorite parts of the project. It's the technology portion. So the team went ahead and adopted drones or small unmanned aerial vehicles to gain new perspectives, gain greater visual access, increase responsiveness, and increase documentation on the site. On your screen now, you can see one of the drone images from right after a storm event. So the reason this is such a powerful tool is because the contractor could take these images, and right now I'm actually showing one of our 360 images that we took. So the contractor could take this image, figure out where potential sources of erosion were, and kind of go ahead and plan out exactly how he was going to tackle those erosion problems. And on your screen, you can see that these 360 images just gave such great detail to the contractors and anyone interested in the project. And they could zoom in, find, like I said, find sources of erosion and kind of plan out the next day. Sometimes on this project, we'd have back-to-back storm events and the contractors needed to be quick and efficient. Well, by adapting this technology, they definitely proved they could be efficient on this site. So my next slide is on data integration, or the communication portion of this project. So we didn't just produce those pretty pictures that you saw on the last slide, but we also did a little bit of photogrammetry, and we overlaid some of the, not only the grading maps, but we also provided the team just with an aerial photos that, as you can see on the screen here, they used to mark up, kind of decide where they wanted to put their sediment traps, berms. This is one of Mark Williams' drawings that he used. So what I would do is I would go ahead and fly the entire site, do my photogrammetry, shoot some videos for them, try and give them that aerial perspective of the whole site. And like I mentioned before, especially when they couldn't get to the site due to some of those site constraints, this was a really powerful tool. And so this really helped the team plan ahead. But like I said, this was one of Mark's drawings. So what I'd do is I'd go fly the site, produce a photogrammetry image. A few days later, shoot this over to Mark. He could mark it up on his iPad and send it to his team. And that way they could be ready for the next storm event within the same week, which was a pretty good turnaround time. And it seemed to work really well on this project site. Our next slide goes into the BMP effectiveness on this project. And I would like to mention that no regulatory violations were issued against this extremely complex project. So how was this accomplished? This was accomplished through teamwork, ingenuity, technology, communication, and commitment. On this project, I can only recall one exceedance of the turbidity on the numeric action level, or NAL, results. So what did this team do? Well, they came up with a great solution. They just placed visqueen plastic on the eroded slopes, and a few hours later, these sampling results improved. So as a civil engineer, I love to see problems being solved. I mean, that's what we do for a living. And being on this project, they did a great job of that. Every time they saw a problem, they went and they solved that problem. So those rain events that used to cause the mudslides, flooding in the streets, and large debris to be uprooted are no longer a community concern. So at the commencement of grading, there was an immediate positive change in the effects that the rain events had on the downstream residential communities. So right after the project team started implementing these BMPs, the residents really noticed a difference downstream. And that really helped with the project by improving morale with the downstream residential community. One resident even said, the heavy rain event this season was very different from past years. It's amazing to witness the change from flooded waters to controlled containment of runoff from the foothills. Good planning and engineering does work. And I totally agree with that. So what additional benefits did this project have? Well, since they built this project, now you don't have all that brush everywhere, and fire hazards are reduced. Especially at this time of the year, that's a pretty big benefit in my opinion. Flooding hazards obviously were reduced. And as you heard me talk about, the downstream residential communities are not having to deal with stepping out of their homes into 3 to 4 inches of mud. And 174 acres was dedicated to the Land Conservancy. So by this, in the community, they put walkways and small little parks. And up on the screen, you can see we noticed a couple of deer when doing some of the inspections. So that was always one of the neat things to see on the site. Now onto the commitment of the project team. So the Brasada team was 100% committed from start to finish on this project. Every time there was a problem, they solved it by using those teamwork, ingenuity, technology, communication, and commitment. And they really adapted these key terms, and it was awesome to see what they could accomplish by not only following these, but by putting in the manpower, putting in the knowledge. They really adapted and solved anything that this project threw at them. So we got a quote from the Director of Public Works at the City of San Dimas that stated, "I would like to commend them on the erosion and sediment controls installed on site and have witnessed firsthand the cleanliness of the water being collected during these rain events. The Brasada team worked collaboratively to protect the watershed." And lastly, I wanted to show you a view of the Brasada Estates project today. So this is another 360 image I shot just a few weeks ago. And from this image, you can see that all the pads have been graded. And what you don't see here is that the building phase of the project is just about to start, where they're actually going to be starting to construct those homes. So right here, you can see it was a beautiful project. The team did a great job. And what did it take to accomplish this? What was that? Okay, teamwork, ingenuity, technology, communication, and commitment. Now, onto the question slide of this project. So up on your screen, I have put David Cook, who was the construction general manager at Brasada Estates. And I'm sure he can answer any question you throw at him that has to deal with the construction of this project. We also have Mark Williams, who was the BMP manager, and he can answer any question you have to throw about BMP installation, why he put the BMPs or sediment traps up in certain areas of the site. I mean, I would hope I can answer that too, but everyone's email is up here. We also have Dan Seacrest, whom I work with, and he was the project QSP, and myself, Chris Sidor, the drone pilot, as well as the backup QSP on this project. Feel free to shoot any of us an email if you have any questions on this project, and thank you for being here with me today.